Hard Parking brought to you by Wright Honda and Wright Toyota out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm your host, Jhae Pfenning. Coming up on today's show, Mr. J-Lo is in the house. NSXPO just happened. My voice is gone. Did not get the opportunity to really do any interviews during the event, and now that I look back at it, I wouldn't have had any fucking time. I didn't have time to do shit. There were so many people I wanted to see, so many people I wanted to spend time with, so many people I wanted to have a drink with. Couldn't do it. Didn't have the time. Felt like shit. But what's important to me is everybody had a fantastic time. And it sounds like everybody did. So coming up after this, word from 4 Wheel Online, Mr. J-Lo, Jason Lowe.
Jhae Pfenning here, and I want to tell you guys about 4 Wheel Online. For over a decade, 4 Wheel Online has been bringing the best truck accessories and truck parts to enhance the appearance and performance of all trucks and SUVs. They are dedicated to providing an extensive range of upgrades that will match any maker model on the road. Their truck products cover everything you need to give your truck a custom look and added functionality. And if you need a tire and wheel package, head over and use the configuration tool. They carry all the major brands of wheels and tires, so go get outfitted today. So visit them online at 4Wheel Online or call them at 813-769-2451. Again, that's 4Wheel Online, the number 4 Wheel Online.
This conversation is brought to you by the Cell Shop, an Arizona-based retailer that strives to be your destination of choice for wireless services, whether Arizona or Washington State. They are an authorized AT&T dealer. So visit them at cellshop.us and get connected today. He is J.L. Coolman, Jason Lowe. We affectionately call him J-Lo around here, live from Atlanta. Welcome to Hard Parking.
Well, more so Georgia, but the real...
Hold up. Is Atlanta in Georgia?
Atlanta is in Georgia,
okay.
But I'm not from Atlanta.
Where do you live?
I live in Warner Robins, Georgia.
How far is that from Atlanta?
Hour and a half to 2 hours south.
Okay, that's far.
Middle Georgia. We're essentially, we're the armpit of Georgia.
Let me ask you this. So when you're out and about, if people say, where are you from? What do you say?
I tell them I'm from Georgia.
Oh, perfect. Well, most people are like, well, like people ask me, where do you live? Arizona. And then the next question is, where at in Arizona? Where at in Georgia? And you tell them specifically?
Oh, yeah. Everybody's like, oh, you live in Atlanta? I'm like, nope.
There's more to Georgia than Atlanta, right?
There is.
I know 3 cities that I could think of.
Savannah, where you were born.
Wait, is Mason in Georgia?
I mean, I'm sure there's a Mason in Georgia. Okay. I don't know everything in Georgia, but
so
I'm actually bad about my geography in Georgia.
You're right. Atlanta, Savannah, and Douglasville.
Douglasville. Okay.
It's just outside of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know about Maconga?
I haven't been in Atlanta since I was like 5.
Macon, Georgia. Maconga.
Maconga. Okay.
It used to be the capital of Georgia, I believe.
Maconga?
Well, we call it Maconga, but Macon, Georgia, and then you combine it and call it Maconga.
But didn't I say Macon a second ago?
Mason. You said Mason.
Mason, Macon, whatever. So
Macon's in Georgia. There's probably a Mason, Georgia, too. So there's a Clayton, Georgia, and then there's a Clayton County in Georgia. They are not even remotely the same. They're different places. Rabun County, or Clayton and Rabun County. Of course, you got Peachtree City. That's not actually in with all the other peach trees. So I'm from
where are all the rich
Wartown.
black people at?
Huh?
Where are all the rich black people at?
All over the place. Buckhead, Lenox.
Oh, I know Buckhead. I know that from the old
Marietta.
What's the skit? The hip hop skit. I got it off of Fool and Bankhead.
Bankhead.
It's a skit. You know how old hip hop albums have like those little skits in between the songs. I gotta look that shit up. But anyway, proceed.
So I'm actually down in Warner Robins, Georgia, Wartown, as affectionately known. It's actually the international city of the state or U.S. That's our.
No kidding.
It's the international city. So just here to hang out with my good friend Jay. I appreciate him bringing me on here.
So NSXPO 2022 just concluded. Like, what are some of your thoughts? What are some of your highlights?
You're a straight up boss. This is.
I don't know what that means.
You brought it to the next level, and amazing event. Good to see some faces that weren't able to come out due to the past few years of COVID and pandemic, and just
our buddies from Japan.
Yes,
and in the Netherlands.
We didn't get to see Martin and Anna from Norway, but next year.
So we had the track event on Wednesday and Thursday.
That was a great time.
That's down at the Podium Club at Atessa. Yeah. So first off, you and I met many years ago at an NSXPO.
Ohio.
It had to have been Ohio because that was my
Yeah,
first NSX
Ohio.
Expo. So that's 2014.
Yeah. That's when you introduced me to the, hitchhiking guide. The hitchhiking guide to NSX Expo. It's a great way to live.
It is a great way to
Like
live.
people knock on it. Like people are like, oh no, I don't want to show up to NSX Expo without my car.
Right?
But I mean, you did it for your first one, and
Yeah.
I mean, you had a great time.
I did.
We had a great time. Like everybody says, the cars are just an excuse to get together.
Mhm.
The real reason we love these things is the people.
Mm-hmm.
This great family that we have, the community is one of a kind. There's no other like it.
No, 100%, and it's about the people. It's about the relationships. It's about all that. And I've talked about it on the podcast, not a lot, but a lot as we get closer to NS Expo every year, and as NS Expo concludes. And I was going to bring the microphones. Our man Yasu in Japan actually, and he listens to this every Tuesday morning, and he had voted for me to take the microphones, but as we were saying off mic, I don't even know where my time goes.
There's no way to do that when you're
way.
organizing. So if you haven't heard, NS Expo 2023 is going to be in Atlanta, Georgia.
Correct.
I'm part of the committee putting it on, and I've already told everybody I'm going to definitely say hi and try and at least greet everybody. And but my main focus next year when we're putting on the event is everybody else. I'm not worried about myself. I'm not worried about anything else. I just want everybody to have a great time. That's all I'm worried about.
So let's step through this. So we have the track event, and then Thursday is the social, and that's what I get excited about because that's when everybody's coming into town, checking in. You haven't seen them since last year, 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. And we went to the Phoenix Botanical Gardens.
Yes.
The mariachi band came in.
That was impressive. That was quite a surprise.
That's all Chris Wilson. So he was in charge of Thursday. He had that nice little touch.
That was quite a treat, honestly.
It's the little things, right? Everything from the swag bag to every single event. You want to wow people. You want them like, wow, this is great. Yeah. That night, we go back to the hotel. We had the poolside thing, which I told everybody, hey, thank you for coming. I'll see you down there. And of course, I'm stuck in the war room by the time I get out there. And poor Farasat, and I'll blame JC a little bit too. I said, we're never going to make our total spend with this shits. We had some shit selection liquor, but they had good beer. But so we did that. And then Friday morning was a cruise to Chaparral Pines.
Yeah. Or Chaparral Pines and the Tonto Natural Bridge, which is amazing. That was epic. We were like a group of buddies and I were walking along and we're like, what is this bridge that they're talking about? And then we got a little further and it's like, oh, we were standing on it. We were literally walking on it.
You guys went topside first?
Topside first.
So what group were you in? I was in group 2.
I was in group 4, but 2 and 4 ended up combining.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Because Chase, so we show up at this place, and of course, I didn't drive. I gave Peter my keys and let him drive, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, his first Type S experience. Well, I can't say first Type S.
He drove Kaz
at the track, and actually, I sort of want to take it back really quick. We sort of talked about the track event, but even though like the social event is of course where it's at, but this was actually my first time committing to even just attending the track event as a spectator, and the extra few days you get to like hang out with those group and then get settled, and then when everybody comes in, it's not as much of a rush and a blur. It's not as crazy
because you've seen 30 to 40% of the attendees at the track.
25% of the attendees, and it's just like it's a good prep to the event. Like you're not just thrown into the cauldron and boiling.
No, that's an excellent point.
Yeah, I wish I had been doing that this whole time, but I'm a simple guy. I work a normal job and I can't live the largest life I want to live. So social event was what I could at least allocate my time and resources to. So, but I'm definitely moving forward. I'm going to attend the whole event. No doubts.
Yeah, because the only thing it costs you to attend the track event itself as a spectator is time. And what I mean by time is maybe you have to take off a day or two earlier than you normally would.
Yeah.
What did you... So we did the parade lap, and we had James Paul Media on there.
They were great. Like the media team this year,
I'm going to take credit for that one.
Phenomenal professional, like fantastic. Like you would think we were shooting a some sort of corporate media. It was legit.
Like a commercial. And David, I don't know how to say his last name, Quiroga. He's been the media guy for the last couple of years, and he does a good job. Super awesome, friendly guy. But I think the expectation was he would do it this year. So Peter had reached out, and he's like, hey, you want to reach out and talk to, David about this?
Oh, you talking about
who made the
previous years.
decision? I was like, yeah. I made the decision because it's in Arizona, it's in Phoenix, it's in my backyard. I'm going to use my people.
Oh, for sure.
For this, I'm going to use my volunteers. We have an incredible, like everybody out here is a photographer. It's just about getting the right team together.
You guys have all the scenery to take.
Exactly.
The landscape and the nature and scenery to perfect that craft.
There's local photographers that I'm friends with that are probably really pissed off at me for them not being part of this event. But that's also why I brought on Rebecca Wynn of Print Driven. She's been on the episode. We had an awesome podcast interview, but I brought her on because she runs and manages her company. And I said, you pick the talent. That way I'm not on the hook.
She was the pregnant lady, right? Or pregnant woman.
Yep.
Freaking another queen. Straight up queen. Like she's out there pregnant and just laying it down, making things happen. Like mothers, women, they're amazing. Like what they can do.
They can be. My wife isn't home yet from Disneyland with Zeke and Jaylene. So we did that Thursday. Everyone's getting together. Super cool. I promised everyone I'd come down and have a drink. I don't see them. And, what's important to me is the first timers have a great time. And especially if I've talked them into going, right. Because much to your point earlier, it's not about the cars, it's about the people, but it's hard to get people to understand that.
Oh, yeah. Once you get them in the door, they're hooked. And of course, every part of the event, you just want to leave a lasting impression, which every event leaves a lasting impression.
Think about that though. The next year, you already know because you've been to a ton of these.
I've been going since 2013. I haven't missed one yet.
There's a lot of people who don't, like Fairsaw did a good job as a director, but he's gone to one NSXPO last year.
Yeah,
but people are starting to call us the dream team because it's myself and Chris Wilson and Tyson Hughie and JC Converse, but we're all uniquely skilled and talented in a specific thing to where we're not tripping over each other.
Everyone brings something to the table.
Yeah.
And that's what it's always about. It's like, there's a saying, there's no I in team.
There isn't win.
Takes, well, winning has two I's too. So always be winning. But
I like that. That's a good comeback.
No, it's not even just the team. It's the whole community. It's the whole family. It's the whole club. Like without the club, without the members, what would you be putting it on for, right?
So I just gave you this look because I'm thinking back and I'll have to check my bags. I was like, did I forget a bottle of Don Julio 70 on the counter? I don't think I did. It's got to be in one of my bags. It's a good tequila. It's not easy to find. I brought it from home from my own personal collection. And then, I had volunteers. So, Catherine Cox, who was also a Patreon, supports this podcast. I had Dave. He's a local guy that I met in the car scene. Tim Ewell, Zach and his wife, Zach Herder and his wife, Nico Ann, who's everybody knows her from Instagram.
Yeah.
So shout out to her. They're all, and then of course Joe Tonelli of Right Hunter, and of course Pam Converse. But the ones that I brought in, we could not have pulled this event out without them at all. So be thinking about that next year.
Oh no, it's
because it's
back in my mind already.
You've been to all these expos and you see like the planning committee is already stressed out. They're sitting at the table. They're taking registration. No. Find volunteers.
You need to. What is it? It takes a village.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it is not a small effort at all. You have to have a good team. You have to have some good volunteers, and they need to be ready to understand that they're not there to enjoy the event. Of course they're going to enjoy the event, but they're there to
make sure everybody
provide
else has
the enjoyment for the rest of the team or for the rest of the attendees. Like that's what the Atlanta team is very, very much focused on, is putting it on for the club. It's for the people, by the people, for the people. But
Jason Lowe running for president.
going to that or stepping offline, a lot of people back at home was like, you should run for local office. I'm like, I think about it, but I also don't want to have gray hair.
Yeah.
I still have most of my black hair, and people. I don't look my age. Obviously, I'm very misleading, and I would like to.
Dude looks like he's about 65, but he's like half of that.
There are things that I would like to aspire and achieve in life, but I know there are limits too. Like you got to know your limits, and but also maybe you should just push the limits and break them. Like that's what they're there for. But you have to pick your priorities and focus on what you want to do. I honestly, we're going a little off topic, but I would do anything to make the world a better place.
Sure, totally. So Chaparral Pines. So first off, there's nothing cooler, and it doesn't matter if you're an NSX, if you're a Corvette team, if you're driving a Hyundai, whatever, Veloster.
Yeah. Civic
Life. Whenever there's 120 to 130 of them on the road at the same time, especially when they're going opposite directions of each other, because groups 1 and 3 went to Chaparral Pines Golf Course. Groups 2 and 4, as J-Lo had mentioned, we went to the Tonto National Bridge, and then we swapped places so that one group had lunch first and one group had lunch second. So when you're driving down these two-way roads and it's just 60 cars just like yours coming the opposite direction, not including the 30 in front of you and the 30 behind you, that's
quite a scene. I have a great video of the Chaparral Pines group 1 and 3, just flying down to the natural bridge. I recorded it all since I was riding shotgun. I had the ability to record and capture the moment, even though my phone had been messing up all weekend. Like luckily it played nice for that moment, and maybe one day it'll get seen by people. I'm not on social media. I'm not really out there, but I do have quite a collection of media pictures. One day everybody might get to see the collage of NSX sleeping, or NSX is at sleep or sleeping. It's something I normally do every year. It's my annual thing of when everybody goes to bed and the NSXs are at rest, I go out and record every single car, or as many cars as I can get. And it's not great quality video, but it's just something to admire NSXs at rest, because otherwise they're doing work.
Right. They're doing work. So what did we do after that? So we all got back. I was heading over to the vault because so Chris had Thursday night, I had Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
So Jane, of course, Right Honda, Right Toyota, special shout out. My podcast sponsors, they actually sponsored Friday night's dinner at the Vault of Scottsdale.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Walker came out, which was
amazing event. Like the Vault was a special venue.
Yep.
And then Right Honda, the Baller Foundation.
Yeah, we have Baller Dream Foundation. This is the first NSXPO. So you guys talk to the group.
Oh yeah,
we need to carry that forward. This is the first
we're
NSXPO
for sure going to
continue
charity. That. I mean, we should have. I believe in the cause, and I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what we need to sort of evolve into, is more about giving back to the community, because that was something special. You gotta give back and support. Like I said, it's fine. For the people, by the people.
Right. You're politicking again. No, but no.
Not.
I'm just joking, but no. So
I mean,
that was cool because actually,
what was her name? Sarah, the young woman with breast cancer, the baller warrior. The Vault was a special place, quite a venue, a way to just start the event out with a bang. Cody Walker showing up. I mean, his family is near and dear to the community, of course. The late great Paul Walker, and I actually. My one charity I typically do for my Smile.Amazon or Amazon Smile is Reach Out Worldwide.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh yeah, for sure. And when I found out what it was about and what Paul did back in the day, that was not even a question of which charity I wanted to support in that sense. So unfortunately,
So-
I'm not such a big Amazon spender. I mean, I go through my splurges, but I still try and put in some effort.
So Scarlett Padilla was the recipient. for
Scarlett.
that evening.
Okay,
Yeah.
Scarlett. I knew it started with a S.
Yep. So Scarlett Padilla was the
My
recipient.
memory is a haze right now, so normally I'm pretty good
Dude,
with
it's
some
been
names.
a long weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was an excellent event. So we did the poker night.
Poker night.
So
Casino
everybody,
night.
yeah, casino night. So
Yeah.
you could play poker, blackjack,
Yeah.
a roulette table,
Roulette table.
craps, and all that went to charity. It was
Yeah.
a huge fucking hit. I
And
actually originally had
Raised.
so we raised $6,000 a night. I had Noel G, which is Hector, and Cody Walker coming, but Noel had to cancel at the last minute.
Hector.
Yep.
That would have been cool.
And those contacts, honestly, are only possible because of my connection with Jane at Right Honda, Right
Okay.
Toyota. So she's put me in because Toyota of Claremont and Toyota of Huntington Beach, they use Noel all the time. Yep, for all their stuff. And so
Okay.
now I'm on terms with both of them. I'm so fucking.
I want to
grateful.
I want to meet Hector.
He was gonna be here, but part of me feels like he wasn't gonna come anyway. He's kind of one of those guys,
Yeah.
But but thank God Cody came through.
I mean, because who else is going to hold the money if not Hector?
Well played. And so that night, after that, we went to Gree 270 back at Talking Stick Resort, and what was cool. And then, we had to close down the vault, and I helped everyone take everything out. But catching up to people up there, I got my photo with John Vassos. So for you podcasters, just remember John Vassos is the Acura genius that I had on many months ago who has mesothelioma, and he shouldn't even be here, but he actually made it to our NSXPO, which means the fucking world that he's even still alive. And on that episode, I said, you're going to come out here one day and we're going to have a Bacardi and Coke, because we talked about how shitty that drink is. So there we were. I got a photo with him in a Bacardi and Coke.
Should I introduce you guys to a Ducati?
Let him know what you drink and let him know what I said about it.
No. It's not my Crown and Sprite. I'm talking about a Ducati. Mountain Dew and Bacardi.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Oh yeah. I mean,
actually it doesn't sound terrible, because
I used to love Mountain Dew.
I love Mountain Dew, and then Bacardi and Coke isn't a terrible drink. It's just one of the entry level simple drinks.
Oh yeah. And like I said, I'm a simple man. So.
It's like saying I'll take a Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a Jack and Coke. Nothing wrong with Bacardi Coke. Or what did you call it?
Ducati.
Nothing wrong with the Ducati.
Yeah, the Ducati, I mean, I sort of started that on my own back in, I won't say high school, but my college years. And
was it high school?
No, actually high school was, do you remember Sky Blue?
Yeah, Sky with the 2 Y's. We thought we were balling, so we made Broke Passion, so we couldn't afford Alizé, and we couldn't afford Cristal and Alizé, so we bought Alizé and we bought Sky Vodka, which we thought was premium. That's absolute
garbage.
Shit.
Oh, and then back in the malt liquor days, malt drinks, Sky, it tasted like Sprite, for us. And we used to buy case upon case of that and think we were like.
Did you drink St. Ides at all?
No.
Okay, so St. Ides is a malt. That was
I know about St. Ives, but like Sky Blue. And the bottles were just so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, marketing, right? So St. Ides had St. Ides Crooked Brew, so the eye was a little crooked, and they were flavored, so it was like flavored malt liquor. But so we do that Friday night, get that shut down.
Oh, wait, let me touch on John Vassos really quick. So Jay mentioned John Vassos, and him showing up is a very big deal. I, being the dumb and ignorant person I am that's not on social media, I sort of was reminded about his situation last year at Portland, Oregon. So when I saw him at the track this year, I about lost it.
Yeah.
I gave him the biggest hug possible. Like, I've been telling those guys I was going to come back up to the Midwest and see everybody, get a little group hangout so it's more casual. We can really communicate and just conversate and hang out and have a good chill time. And life, of course, gets in the way of the things you want to do. Been too busy. I keep promising that I'll maybe get up there before the end of the year, or at least maybe by mid-year next year. Or I want to experience a cold Midwest. maybe not the full on winter Midwest, but yeah, John Vassos, so great to see him again. Love the man. And yeah, just wanted to touch on that really quick. It moved me to see him at the track. Like when I first laid eyes on him, I beelined it for him. Like,
Right.
didn't care about anybody else. John Vassos.
Yeah, and he's kind of hard to miss. You know, he's just this tall, white-haired, silver fox. You know,
a true warrior too. I mean,
yeah.
he just keeps on marching.
Man, he shouldn't be here, but thank God he was. And as far as health-wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
To get that
a true
photo,
warrior, a true fighter.
And I got photos with him last night too. So Friday night, we go back, and I talked about this earlier. Promised everyone I'd spend time with him, and I hardly ever see anybody. I'm almost relieved though when I send people text messages. Hey, it'll be another hour. They're like, "No, it's all good, bro. We're actually going to bed." I'm like, "Yes, I'm glad you've gone to bed." I mean, that's one less group of people that I have to go and see. I think I was up till 2 or 3 Friday. Of course, we had to get up early Saturday to load the cars in. And so, what did you think about the cars? Because we got Shiaka's Journey,
Chaki's Journey.
Chaki's Journey. Thank you. I call it anime as a manga. The manga NSX.
Oh, it's an anime NSX.
Okay,
it's an anime. Yep.
There's
no manga yet.
And then Kelly hooked us up with the space frame.
Oh,
and
the space frame.
Never been on display before. Tell the people about that.
I mean, we tried to have some fun with the space frame. Honestly, we are all trying to cart it off and just...
Well, let them know what that is.
So the space frame is the aluminum monocoque of the NSX, and it just goes to show you what kind of engineering and research was... Once again, the NSX was the first mass production all-aluminum chassis, a monocoque.
Yeah, monocoque.
And we got to see it in its full glory. Like you see pictures of it standing on the uncut one. Like you see a clean chassis in pictures, but this is Jay and Kelly hooked it up and brought out a gem that nobody gets to see.
Yeah.
Like it's hidden behind the hidden.
Yep.
Everybody knows about the collection hall in Torrance, California, but there's a even more recessed version of the collection hall that none of us will probably ever get to see.
I asked her, I said, who can see that? Celebrities? She goes, nobody sees that.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Maybe one day I'll get to see it when I finally join the Honda family.
Maybe, right?
Maybe.
But yeah, so this thing, it's a work of art.
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
You know what's funny is when I said, well, she goes, what do you want? And I go, what do you have? She goes, all right, I'll send you some photos. And I go, we want that. She goes, really? Why would people want to see this? I say, Kelly, I'm telling you, people are going to lose their fucking minds when they see this because it's never been on display. Yeah. We all had the posters on our wall, of the one from Suzuka. Or how do you say, Tochigi? Tochigi, the one from the factory, the side view. Remember that?
Twin ring Motegi, Tochigi.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody knows that iconic look of just a bare, I don't quote me, but 400 to 600 pound chassis.
It's pretty light.
That just illustrates the beauty of the NSX.
Yeah. So we have that, and then we have the anime car, and then of course inside we had a Type S, a modern Type S that belongs to Alex Frederick's local person, and then Chris Wilson's Zanardi.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Honestly, Chaki's car, I would, if I could own that, I would.
It's a cool car.
It's a factory car though, and
it's gonna get crushed.
Yeah, I love
R.I.P.
I love anime. Initial D is definitely near and dear to my heart. And when they brought out Chaki's Journey, is it Chaki's Journey? I think.
Yep. Chaki's
Journey. I honestly wish there was more of it. Like I was hoping for a full on series or.
There's
a movie.
A season 2 coming.
I've heard some talks.
Okay, I
don't want to like.
I can't confirm that. I'm winking at him, but I mean,
I don't want to spill any beans yet. So I'm trying to be, reserved. And everybody knows apparently I have some tight lips, keeping the next year's event a secret. But
I'm glad you did because people kept asking me, and I was like, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, we were.
Obviously, I did. But
Steven. So Steven Popoff, he's also from Atlanta. Or he's actually from Atlanta, more so Marietta, but he came out too with me, and the whole weekend everybody's like, "Oh, it's going to be in Atlanta! It's going to be in Atlanta!" I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like everybody's pushing for text. We had to like play it off.
Hold on. So you know what the deal is. So if people keep saying that means somebody won't shut the fuck up.
Yeah, somebody spilled the beans or somebody.
I promise you,
people
it
have
wasn't
some
me.
big mouths, and it's fine. I mean, everyone's gonna speculate, or they're gonna play games, and people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I heard it's Atlanta," to try and get something out of you.
Sure.
But I don't have a. I don't like lying. Like I have no. What's the word? What bone in your body?
Funny bone?
No, I don't like lying. So having to walk
There's
around,
no harmful bone in your body or something.
Yeah, there's no dishonest bone in my body.
Oh, there you go.
Whatever it is, it was pretty hard. Like walking around and talking with close friends.
Yeah,
like I've known for years now, and just having to play it off and deny it and try and skirt the issue and just play it off. But I mean, I did it. I did it for the good of the community. Like, we want to focus on, we're here at 2022 in Arizona. That's what we should be focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
Not worried about the future. You live in the present, right? So the future will eventually come. And
I'll just say it now. So I'm out back when they're unloading the cars off of LA Prep, and they had a Honda Civic Type R in there, a red one.
You told me about the FL5.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited for the FL5, but I'm also interested because Mr. Drift King himself, Mr. Tsuchiya-san, Keiichi Tsuchiya-san, Drift King. He said that he's put out some videos about comparing the FK8 to the FL5, and I don't know. We'll see. I haven't actually had a chance to watch all the videos, but I've read a little bit about the initial impressions, and the FL5 is going to be amazing. But then maybe there'll be more to the FL5. I mean, it's the initial run. Honda doesn't put out something that's not ready, correct?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, it's always a sliding or moving target. Like you're never going to be able to put out the final version, or you do the best you can. You set some goals, and then it keeps moving to the right. But you have to pick a point to like finally say, we're ready, let's go. But the FL5, I mean, I'm a Honda diehard. I have nothing but Honda and Acura products. I appreciate all other automotive and brands, and I just appreciate engineering in general. But personally, I'm Honda and Acura diehard, and that's what I can afford. So that's what I do for now. My friends have FK8s back at home. They have the LE, the good old Phoenix Yellow limited edition Civic Type R. But Honda you have to keep moving. You can't just stop in place, and you got to keep progressing the game, keep advancing. And the FL5 is their most recent interpretation of it.
So if you could, Saturday night, last night, how late were you up?
Last night?
We ran into each other a lot. We hung out a little bit.
Last night?
Yep. When did you finally lay down? Because I looked at my photo stamp, and in front of the space frame, it was 4:26 a.m.
4:26 a.m. So I probably called it a night at 5.
Oh my God!
Or called it a morning at 5. I really should have just pushed through, because then I had some issues falling asleep in the room and whatever. But tried to at least get a little bit of rest. I know myself. I don't know if I know my limits, but I know I should take better care of myself. And so plan to like sleep in a little bit, but I also wanted to wake up and, say bye to everybody. You don't get a chance to say hi and bye to everybody, but you do the best you can. And while I'm at these events, that's all I'm focused on is everybody. Like I want to see everybody. I want to talk to everybody. I want to at least touch base, or even just a wave, like just a quick look and a nod.
As long as you say hi to me when I see you every year, that's all that matters.
Well, you got to.
I know next year you're going to be in the exact same position.
You got to beat me
year.
off with a 10-foot stick, though, Jay.
Get the fuck away from. No, I'm like, yeah, I'm just looking for the next best deal, right?
No, Jay, you're putting me on the spot.
I didn't say to say any names.
I know, but like, no, that's not even for me personally.
Not you, and you're not like that. I was talking about our mutual friend.
For
who's
me
a dear
personally,
friend.
everybody has their different priorities, has their different things, and I go about it a certain way, and everybody has nobody's the same. So
Because you must have got up early because I crossed you in the hallway when I was going down to help unload the cars, and it was 9:30. It was
about 9.
It was 10.
9:30.
No, it was 10 because I was a little late going downstairs. But you were already eating breakfast. And I'm like, how the fuck?
Oh, I didn't even eat breakfast. I just went down.
Were you sitting at that big table downstairs?
I went to check out the table. I was gonna see if see what was going on. I had no plans. I just wanted to come down and see people, and I had alarms set for 9, for 10. Checkout was 11. There was no late checkout, and I was like, okay, I know when I have to be out by, but had to. So sleeping at these events is hard because you don't want it to end.
Right.
Like I could do this 365 days a year, nonstop. That's the life I want to live.
I would say I needed 3 more days. I think if 3 more days, I could have gone around and said hi to everyone, had my drink with everyone, asked about everyone's family, and notice this whole time. So J-Lo and I have been talking now for half an hour, and you guys don't even know what kind of what model your NSX he drives. Like that's not the conversation at NSXPO, and that's what people assume.
I mean, like I said before, the cars are just an excuse.
Right. Tell us about your car.
My car or which car?
Tell us about your cars.
Okay, so I have
with a Z.
I have a 92 and a 94. I also have a 2000 Grand Prix White S2000. And from that point, you can tell, or I won't say you can tell, but both the 92 and 94 are Grand Prix Whites. One's a manual, one's an auto. And people are like, why do you have so many? I'm like, they're just awesome. They're amazing cars. My 92 is my baby. I've had it for 12 years now. It's just a 5-speed. Pretty simple car, nothing crazy on it. I just love driving it. I would drive it every single possible hour of the day if I could. Bought it back in 2010. Had about 33,000 miles on it. I think 30 or 33,000 miles. And by 2016, I had already put 60,000 miles or close to 60,000 miles on it. And it wasn't my only car either. Just loved driving it. And then eventually I got the 94 back in 2018, purchased sight unseen. I knew it needed some work and got the work done. It took HQ Engineering. Actually, shout out to David Kwok at HQ Engineering. David really took care of me. I mean, he put in some time with that. I want to say he told me that's the toughest motor he's ever had to build. That motor, I don't know why do people neglect NSXs? And it seemed like it was a long time motor.
It's because they're old. I had this conversation with one of our detailers. Shout out to Kinetic Details and Tim Champion and his detail company for basically showing up, taking a significant price cut to wash everyone's cars. But when I was talking to Tim about, hey, we're going to have 120 cars, NSXs from all over the place, he goes, oh, I bet you it'll be super easy. All of them are probably Ceramic Pro and PPF. And I go, actually, not really. And he said of all the cars he washed, there was only 3 cars that had any sort of protection on them.
Yeah. And my car doesn't have any protection, and it's a driver. It's definitely a driver. When I bought it, it was it was really clean, but definitely a lot of original stuff on it. Excuse me, a lot of original stuff on it. And of course, when I got it, all I wanted to do was drive it instead of take care of the preventative maintenance, or do the maintenance. And it came back to bite me in the butt. But
that's how Mike Tran is.
Likes to bite you in the butt?
No. I don't know if he likes to bite me in the butt, but he will run his car into the ground. It's like, dude, where's your car? Oh, it's got a broken this, and this. I said, why don't you take care of it?
I ran my car into the ground, per se. Or actually, I didn't run it into the ground. It's more so when I finally went to go do the maintenance, I sort of broke a few things, and then that sidelined the car for a while. But I knew I was always going to come back. It wasn't going anywhere, and these things take time. It's not like a Civic or an Integra where you can just build it in 10 hours, as the YouTube videos show. Everything takes time. Time is a commodity that is very, very underestimated.
I agree. That's enough about cars. You know what I forgot about? As I'm sitting here staring at you from across. When we went out Friday. I forgot. It's been a long weekend. I already forgot. You know, we fucking all cram into the bus.
Good old Rusty Spur.
We went to the Rusty Spur in Old Town Scottsdale. We had way too many people in the transport bus and should have been. And our friends from Japan came with us.
Oh yeah, Masahiro and Koji.
Yep.
And Tiffany talked up the Rusty Spur, and it lived up to its name.
But you know, we have a ton of bars like that around here. But the thing is, you guys aren't here.
Oh yeah,
Koji and them aren't here.
And
Tiffany's
honestly,
not
it doesn't
here.
matter where we are.
As long as you're together.
As long as we're together, we could. It happens a lot. I mean, the name of Jay's podcast is Hard Parking, and a lot of times we'll find ourselves in some parking lots just hanging out. Whatever, be it a nice parking lot or a not so good parking lot, it happens.
Facts.
But yeah, it's as long as we're together, that's what matters.
Yeah, it's relationships again, just like I said, and you're 100% right on that, because it was you couldn't move in there. It was a super tiny bar with live music, which, by the way,
is it the oldest cowboy or country bar in Arizona?
That I don't know.
Tiffany said it was the oldest country bar in Arizona.
Well, either way, it's a tiny thing, and what I meant by the way is, live music bands always play too fucking loud. Like you can't actually have a conversation. You know, it's just like, you want to at least have a conversation with somebody.
You wonder why our voices are gone, because we're having to yell and
every
scream
night
at each other.
100%. And then of course, Matt Cole. He doesn't listen to this, but that is Tiffany's husband, Jake Cole's brother. But he does really well in life, and he's so generous. He'll take you to the bar, and he bought shots of Clase Azul Reposado at
Tiffany
two different
did.
bars. Well, they're married, so.
Oh, I know,
yeah.
but Tiffany was the one arranging everything.
No, trust me. You know Matt Cole, right? Tiffany's not ever all there, so they're married. But I'm going to give the credit to Matt because So anyway, Matt bought those, and then they bought us ranch waters.
Good old ranch water. I've been hearing about ranch water and what is a Texas version?
It's all ranch water. Yeah.
There's different versions, but ranch water.
Yeah, it's all ranch water, but you can buy like the pre-made ranch waters that aren't really ranch water, because then they'd be called like hard cocktails. You can't buy cocktail drinks per se, because I drink because I drink Topo Chico ranch water, which I have them downstairs. I fucking love those, but it's not the same as what we got at the bar. So we did that at both places. So we were wobbling. Well, not all of us. Some of us were wobbling back and forth between the bars before we got into the bus and went home. So I wanted to throw that in there because NSXPO is not about the cars, it's about the people, like we've said 10 times. But those after party experiences, last night drinking wine in the rooms with everybody,
getting a show, the thunderstorms and the lightning.
The thunderstorm, going from room to room, hanging out with people, going and taking photos at 4:00 in the morning, and then going back to your room. Those are the experiences that people remember the most. They remember all the events. People love the vault, love the drive, love the banquet. Those are the moments that people hold on to the most, and those are the reasons why people come back every year or come back as often as they can. J-Lo, I would ask you how to get a hold of you on social media, but you're a ghost.
I'm not a ghost, but I'm alive. I'm not haunting anybody. The best way to get in touch with me, if you really want to, you could reach out to Jay.
Oh Jesus!
I have email. I have phone numbers. I'm not really. I can put it out there. So you've heard my username is JL Coleman.
Yep.
And you can practically email any of the big providers at jlcoleman@gmail.com or yahoo.com, hotmail.com. I lost my AOL or AIM, but Any of those. JL Coolman at gmail.com.
JL, like Jason Lowe. Cool man. Like he's so fucking cool.
Yeah. JL Coolman. I won't throw my phone number out on this.
Please don't.
So, JL Coolman. If you ever come across a JL Coolman, it's probably me.
Thanks, J-Lo.
You're welcome.
So now we're going to do heels and clutch this week, but, NSXPO happened. My throat hurts. I'm basically losing my voice, but it was a great time. Like I said earlier, like J-Lo said earlier, tremendous. Next week, we'll get to heels and clutch, Miss L Victoria. Special shout out again to my main sponsors, Right Honda and Right Toyota out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Without them, Friday night wouldn't have been near as magical, and that's a promise. 4Wheel Online, Sell Shop Wireless Services, Westgate Exotic Cars and Rentals. Sell Shop was also a sponsor of NSXPO. Patreon business supporter, Coulee Automotive out of Winter Garden, Florida. Pell Construction out of California, Michigan. Big House, Small Home Design, Ashford, Virginia, and Traverse City, Michigan. If you're in a position to help the podcast upgrade, join the Patreon for as low as $3 a month and get access to bonus audio as well as show swag. Mark Stolman, Catherine Cox, Eddie Ramos, Richard Graves, Byron Jones, Bo Jung, Alex Camina, and Drew Bunkley. Speaking of, so Richard Graves was on last week's episode, giving his preview to NSXPO. We think he spun a rod on the track. Fortunately, he and Liz drove 2 NSXs, but they're going home in 1. So hopefully the best with that car. It's assigned to speed. Special shout out to Catherine Cox. She was one of my volunteers during NSXPO and just freaking killed it like she usually does. All my volunteers hit it out the park. All fantastic, as I said earlier. I feel like my voice sounds even lower. Is it sexy? Is my voice sexy? If you're interested in picking up a Hard Parking Podcast shirt, email the show, send a message on any of the social media platforms you find the show. Oh, hey guys, I have a website, hardparkingpod.com. Finally, hardparkingpod.com. Catch up with every episode. You can email hardparkingpodcast@gmail.com. If you need anything, follow me on Instagram at Jhae Pfenning. That's HaePfenning. Or Jay Travels, JJ_Travels. Join the Hard Parking Violations Facebook page. I can't grow unless you tell everybody how fantastic the show is. So let's do this. Let's grow this thing together. I need to go to bed.
Shut up!